You know, one by one, we're slowly knocking everything off the list here, you know, getting so much closer to installing the new engine when it arrives, which isn't yet, but hopefully soon. Which means I have a lot more work to do. And in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and tear apart the turbo, because not that I feel like I necessarily need to, but I've been pretty thorough with everything so far, and I just want to split this open and take a look at the insides of it, make sure that there's no debris or any pitting in the housings or any chips or damage to either the turbine or compressor wheel. So I just want to go ahead and make sure all of this is good before I throw it back on the car, because why not? Like, an hour's worth of work could alleviate a lot of future headaches. Not to mention, I've never torn a turbo apart. So I'm curious to know what makes this thing work. I mean, I know how they work, but you know, I want to tear it apart, okay? With that said, it's turbo time. It's turbo time! Sorry, I had to do it. Go ahead and start pulling stuff off here. Kind of got some things loosened up just to make it look a little bit nicer for the camera. And I said pop up, not pop off, but hey, you know, whatever works. These oil lines, there we go. Get that all cleaned up. Then we got a return line back here. Ooh, okay. All right, cool. I think that's pretty much all of that stuff. Now, from my understanding, there's literally this clamp right here. I'm assuming it's probably pretty stuck to the other side. I'm gonna have to whack it with a hammer a couple times. Whew. Okay, well, whacking at it certainly isn't making any difference. Okay, so that took way too long. I had the right idea. I just didn't have a clue at how hard this can be to separate the housings of a turbo after it's been used. Like I said, first time ever doing this, so now I know. I have been going ham with this thing for the last 3 hours. Not like straight, but it has taken so much more time than I thought it would to do this. You know, unloading half a can of penetrating fluid, heat, hammers. I've been whacking at this for so long. I don't think I've whacked this much at something since I was a teenager. But the good thing is, all the whacking has paid off. Because we are separated. So now I can see this side of the wheel. I'm trying to understand why this bottom piece is spinning with this. It's not supposed to, right? Ah, that's weird. I don't even know what that piece under there is. The compressor wheel is, there's a couple small little chips. Not sure why, like very small. But I mean, it just spins so good though. And there's, I mean, the smallest, tiniest amount of play in the shaft. So this just needs a really good clean then. Really good clean. Which is where this little guy's gonna come in. So once again, this will just kind of sit in here, take a nice hot bath. That's what we're gonna be working on next. Because once the turbo gets cleaned up, we're gonna give it the same treatment like some of the other engine parts, such as the timing cover. Make it look nice and pretty, and to improve on it and to make it better than it was from Ford. Because why not? You go through all this work, why not make it better if you can? You're asking, how are you going to do that, huh? You'll see towards the end of the video. So before I put any of this in my ultrasonic cleaner, I first want to get it cleaned up, get a lot of the large debris off of the wire brush, Scotch-Brite, and a can of brake cleaner. Oh, wrong can. Brake cleaner. So this will help, you know, knock any large debris off, any oils before it all goes into the parts cleaner. Phew, damn, the brake cleaner fumes are getting to me. Oh, ain't no high like a brake cleaner high, cause a brake cleaner high don't stop. Go ahead and move to the hot side. Definitely a little grody, which is why I'm gonna run this piece for a long time in the parts cleaner to get all that carbon inside of it dissolved, because that's messing with my airflow. And we don't want that, because we want horsepower. Thankfully, these parts aren't too bad because, well, you know, they ain't that old. So minimal cleaning, hardly any corrosion on the hot side here. I also had it wrapped with some exhaust wrap for a little while too, so, you know, that helps. No evidence of any metal debris making its way out the exhaust. It all got puked back through the intake. Okay, I think all this stuff is good enough for the first bath. So let's go ahead and start running this stuff through the ultrasonic cleaner. Fresh water here and some degreaser. It's been baking and bubbling, getting all nice and hot. I tell you, I have like really grown to love this thing. Whenever I become a rich YouTuber, I am buying the biggest freaking ultrasonic parts cleaner I can find. Like, this is awesome. I guess that's the way to go right there. This is gonna have to kind of just, you know, hang out. And I'm gonna run this for a few cycles. Then we're gonna pop it out and see how much better it looks. So, yeah. All right, let's pop this bad boy open. Let's see what we got. I ran it for a couple cycles on either side. It's a little warm. Not too bad. Oh, it's a little warm, a little warm. Oh, wow, look at all the carbon deposits just laying around in the water there. Not bad. Now, the only problem with running this part specifically is I noticed that some corrosion has formed. Not a big deal. Won't take much to clean that up. Get oil in there, make sure everything's all lubed up. Get this corrosion done, cleaned up. But wow, look at that. That wheel looks so much better. There's hardly any carbon deposits on it. Just a little bit here and there. Not too bad. Not too bad. We're gonna go ahead and run the same process on all these parts here, and when I'm done doing that, then we can get on to the next step. So we have finally made it to the fun part. At least for me, this is the fun part of this particular project we got going on in this video, and that is, oh, you know what's about to happen. Paint time. So I have this VHT. This is very high temp, not just high temperature, that's very important. So this is a ceramic coating spray, and after reading, this is not a bad idea to put this on the turbo housing while it's all apart. This will help keep the heat in the turbo and out of the engine bay. And you know, with all the other things I'm doing, it should definitely make a difference and keeping the heat where it belongs. So I'm gonna go ahead and pretty much do, I don't know, probably a good solid 3 coats on this. And then we're gonna do the middle section of the cartridge with this as well. And yeah, so let's go ahead and start spraying. All right, I think that's good for a first coat. So I got both hot side pieces done on the turbo. Now it's time for the cold side. Now, I thought about using the wrinkle black paint that I bought for the timing cover. I'm like, I don't know. Probably it would just blend in, you know, whatever. I mean, you don't really see it anyway. Maybe I just want it to pop a little bit more. I'm like, well, I'll just get like the same color it is, like a aluminum color or like a silver or something, because, you know, you can get this paint in those colors too. And I'm like, well, but yeah, it's already that color. Maybe I can do something a little bit more special. So I was browsing around on Advanced Auto Parts website and I found this. So it's another one of VHT's paint. And this is really pretty color. It says it's like titanium. It's like a titanium blue. And I thought this would look really good on the cold side part of the turbo here. Just make it pop a little bit. It's still kind of in that silvery, you know, hue, but it's a little bit more blue, which will kind of be a nice little accent in the engine bay of a dark blue car. So I thought this would actually look really good. That's what we're gonna go ahead and hit this piece with. So we're gonna go ahead and start spraying it down, putting a couple coats on. I'm gonna put, I don't know, probably the same amount, 3 coats. And then I'm gonna do a coat of high temp clear to make it nice and glossy. So it's a really pretty piece in the engine bay. So let's go ahead and start getting this. Oh, there's no ball in there. That's weird, usually there is. I don't think I've ever bought a can of paint that didn't have a ball inside.
Interesting. Oh, there it is. The ball was stuck. Wow, this is looking pretty good. I really love the color. Oh, wow. That does look nice. The only thing left to do now is just throw some clear coat on here. So let's go ahead and get that on. So I think we got all the clear coat on that I believe is necessary. Really, it's just for looks, honestly, and a extra layer of protection because it is high temp clear coat. It looks really good, but let's go ahead and get this over in the light so we can get a much, much better look at it. And oh, wow. Look at that. That, man, that is pretty. I am so happy with how that turned out. Oh no, the tape got pushed down right there. Oh, that sucks. And then these pieces turned out pretty good themselves. Now they ain't nearly as pretty, but they're definitely coated, which will hopefully help with some heat management, and that's what's important to me. All right, beautiful. Hot side, just looking grand. I don't know if I showed you earlier, but I mean, it is so much cleaner on the inside now from soaking it in the ultrasonic cleaner. Really nice tool. Really, really happy with that. Have I told you that? I think I have. The only thing left to do is clean up some of these edges again, just to make sure they are all nice and clean, make sure the center section is all good to go before I place it all back together, and then just reassemble it. And then just gotta keep it sitting to the side for when the new engine comes. And just like that, guys, we are done. Of course, I still gotta put the wastegate and all that back on, but I mean, the main part of it's still put back together, and it looks so good. It really does. So this is nice. You know, it just adds that little extra bling that you would only see if you looked for it just a little. Just like the details. I love the details. So just a little something, just to be a little bit different while I have all this apart. But it's all back together. It's all ready to go. It's all ready to make power. Slowly but surely, we're knocking it all out. And seemingly, there's still so much more to do. So with that said, it's going to wrap it up here for this video. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with everyone you know. If you want to see more content like this and you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Keep a lookout for next Karz Kreated video.